Alright, here we go. Once again, into the pocket dimension where we will paint all the things. Yes, we paint all the things right here on this channel with JP Gotrokkits. Hope everybody's doing great tonight. Let's get the close cam up and running. And of course, tonight is the giveaway for this here blue dragon. So this blue dragon is the monthly monster giveaway subject, and I'm going to do just a little touch-up work here because when I was painting the base, I got a little bit of tan coloration in a place I didn't want it to be. So give me just one moment and I will fix that. I also missed a spot in the mouth. So let's get that fixed up. Alright, so very strange. Okay. Alright. Lag's pretty bad tonight. Evidently. The YouTube side of things is a whole minute and a half behind. So remember, folks, if you want to have a shot at winning a monthly monster, come on over to Twitch and be a subscriber here on Twitch, because I'm not monetized yet on YouTube, and YouTube has the join function, which is much like the subscription function on Twitch. So if you put something into the channel, I'm trying to make it possible for you to possibly get something out of the channel, which is why I'm doing the monthly monster perk for subscribers only. So I'm going to just get a little bit of this hollyberry, and I'm going to put it in this mouth where I kind of missed a spot. It's a little brighter than I really want. Let me get a little fresh blood from Reaper. That's fresh blood colored paint 9279. So now if you are a subscriber to the Twitch channel, because I can pull up who is subscribing, you don't necessarily have to be present to win the monthly monster, but you do have to be a subscriber to win the monthly monster. So that's how we do things over on the Twitch side of things. If you're watching on the YouTube side of things, welcome. If you're catching the VODs later on, that's fine too. If you like what I do, consider supporting with a follow, a like, a share. You know, all the things, right? Support is free. You don't have to always pay to be a supporter. Like I said, support is free. A like, a share, a subscribe on the YouTube side would be just fine. No problems there. And I'm going to get a little bit of pink and mix it into that red, just because. A little pink. We'll mix it into the red. We'll fix that little spot that I missed there. And we'll be doing this drawing here in just a little while. So, mix a little red there. Pink. There we go. Get the pink mixing into the darker reds tends to kind of skew a little towards brown. so it warms it up just a little bit. Yeah. And we'll just let it mix it in there, let it be wet, and let it dry off. And then we'll go over here and we'll take a little bit of this electric blue from Army Painter Electric Blue, and we'll just catch that little spot that kind of happened when I was doing the basing. So do want to talk about something a little sad this evening, but I'll do that maybe when more people are here. So a little bit of the light blue from the electric blue there. So that's the electric blue by Army Painter. So kind of a cornflower blue. I'm going to get a little bit of the magic blue from Vallejo Game Color. I'm going to mix that in just a little bit, just to give it a little more richness. So we've only got a couple of hours here this evening, so let's make the best of it. So last weekend, me and Auto Rush, if you are a usual viewer, will be familiar with Otto. He's come by several times. Friend of the channel. Friend in real life. He and I went down to a traditional music festival and got to jam with some really fine musicians. So that was enjoyable last week. Though it did keep me away from it did keep me away from my housework. So you'll get that from time to time. Alright, while that dries, I'm going to sit that there. And I'm going to pull up the names of my subscribers here on the Twitch. Let's see. There is a way to do it. Let's see. They kind of bury the list of subscribers here. So it's a little bit, here we go. So we'll do that. Okay. Here we go. We will open that. We will open it with Notepad. And then we'll go over here to the Wheel o' Death. Random Wheel of Names. Wheel of Names Random Name Picker. So, let's get back over here stream manager so I can see your smiling faces here on the Twitch. All right. So here we go. All right. All right. Black Skull. And we have got one more here. Miar Ajnabal, we will put your name. Actually, Miar is not eligible for this one. So we got one. We got Dollar Dylan, DD Minis, and Black Skull 1965. Miar won the last one. So Miar is out of the drawing for this one. Because you can't win 2 in a row. So, all right. So I've got 3 names out of 4 subscribers. One of them being Miar. Miar is he won the last one. So we have got. So we're gonna go ahead and click to spin. We've got DD Minis, Dollar Dylan, Black Skull 1965. So if anybody else wants to subscribe to get this fine beast, to adopt it and give it a nice home, now is the time to do it. Although I only have 1 viewer, so it is what it is. And I said I was going to make the drawing here at 9 o'clock. So the drawing is going to happen at 9 o'clock. It is 9:14 already because the stream starts at 9. So let's go ahead and click to spin. DD Minis. All right. Okay. DD Minis has won the monthly monster. Congratulations to DD Minis. So I will send him a note here. So all right, here we go. I'm going to drop him a note real quick. So we'll send it out to him here in the next week or so. Hopefully I can get to the post office pretty soon. So, all right. 1 viewer on Twitch, which is me, and 1 viewer on YouTube, which is also me. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and start on this month's. That's September's monthly monster. We'll go ahead and get that going because why not, right? And I do like to using the WizKids figures for that. So congratulations, DD Minis. You have won the Blue Dragon from WizKids. Sorry, Miar, but you're gonna be eligible for the next one, and this next one is going to be we have a cave troll. They have a cave troll, cavern troll right there. We're gonna be doing this one. This is from the Pathfinder Battles by the WizKids Deep Cuts Cavern Troll. So very cool. We'll be doing that. I may just go ahead and start on that one this evening, just because. Why not, right? So, all right, very cool. Well, I think DD Minis will really enjoy that fine big blue beastie on his shelf. This evening, or well, when I send it over to him. So let's go ahead and get started on the Cavern Troll for this month, because we're already a weekend into the month and we don't have much time, and there's other things that I need to paint other than the monster of the month. Or the monthly monster, depending on who you are. So, alright, so here is the monthly monster. It is the Cavern Troll from the Pathfinder Battles series of WizKids figures. So here we go. Now, the Cavern Troll, boom, right there. So according to the art on the back of the card, it's supposed to be a grayish brown or brownish gray, whatever. And the crystals are bluish. Blue-gray, bluish, right? So we may just go ahead and try to stick with that particular sort of thing there. So anyway, it shouldn't take long to paint up. It's fairly simple. It's a nice open model. Unlike the dragon that we just finished, everything's easy to get to. So the dragon was a little bit difficult. And here's something I don't like about this figure. Look at how teeny tiny his base is. So his main base covers up the plastic base. I do not like that, I have to say. Not a fan. But we'll go ahead, we'll go with it, I guess. And I'm going to get my file here. There's a little bump, a little bit of flash here where the base came off of the sprue when they did that at the factory, so we'll clean that up a little bit. And even though this isn't a big base, and I really would like to use a much nicer base, I've got nicer bases underneath the desk here. I think we'll just go with this, just to protect the edges of the figure base that it's actually molded to, just because. Why not, right? So go ahead and we'll key this up so that the super glue holds onto it a little bit better. And of course, this being a PVC figure, super glue is the way to go. PVC to an acrylic base, yeah, super glue. Super glue is going to be your friend. When you have things that are of different materials, super glue is really good for it. You could also use white glue, say if you're doing terrain, if you have materials that are different. Usually your plastics, though, I would say super glue is not going to hurt them. So PVC to acrylic or PVC to polystyrene. Super glue is the way you want to go. So, anyway. So congratulations to DD Minis. He won the Big Blue Dragon for this last month's for August's monthly monster. So if you want to have a shot at a monthly monster, feel free to subscribe here on Twitch. And if you don't want to subscribe, that's just fine. If you follow me, that is great. That is also support. And I'll tell you what, once we hit 400 followers, right now we have 325 followers here on Twitch, I'm going to do a drawing for the new Warcrow box set from Corvus Belly. I have the copy right in the other room, and if you doubt me, you can check my Instagram. So, by all means, check my Instagram. There you go, and you will see that I have a copy of Warcrow to give away. But I'm going to give it away only after we hit 400 follows. But here's the kicker. So I have some really cool things when we hit 500 follows here on Twitch. But if we don't hit 400, we won't hit 500, right? So give it a shot, folks. I don't bite, usually. I mean, that costs extra. I've been thinking about doing miniatures classes. I actually listened to Build Paint Play tonight, and quite honestly, if you're not watching Build Paint Play on a Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, what are you even doing with your life? I mean, seriously. Check out Build Paint Play. If you have any interest at all in more, I guess you'd say, the deeper things of the industry, and I don't really mean all the deals and the wheels and the wheeling and the dealing and the like, but you know, but just people that are doing really neat things. Independent game designers like Malev Shinobi. You should check him out. He's got some really neat things. In fact, I think this month he's finishing up. He had a challenge out for a lot of people to design a miniatures game out of one box of miniatures. So he was really looking for interesting game design ideas. So Malev was doing that. He kind of hangs out in chat sometimes there in the Build Paint Play. But it's just really, like tonight they were talking to... who were they talking to? They were talking to Dan Osborne. Dan Osborne is in charge of the miniatures hobby track at Nova Open. So he's in charge of the instructional side of things there at Nova Open. It's more than just a big Warhammer tournament. But it was quite fascinating to hear what he was talking about. And it's kind of neat to hear these people that are well-accomplished hobbyists, extremely accomplished hobbyists, people that have been heads of studios, and I mean, you name it, they've done it, right? People that have worked for White Dwarf and Workshop, which, say what you will about Workshop and White Dwarf and the magazine and the company behind it, you know, corporatism being what it is. Um, say what you will about that. There are a lot of really great, sincere people that have come out of workshop and made really great strides on their own. They've kind of learned on their own what it takes to be successful. They've made those contacts. Like look at Chris Peach, Louise Sugden. I don't have to mention Dave Taylor. Um, just I tell you what, they've taken their lessons that they learned at workshop and really made their own world out of it. So that is, it's quite inspiring to me, quite honestly. Not that I could ever aspire to uh, be that successful with the hobby, in and with the hobby. And by the hobby, I mean miniatures and gaming. And sometimes, here's the funny thing. So, listening to a lot of people talk about the miniatures hobby, there's a lot of people that are more interested in the art side of it. Well, I don't know if there's more, but there's just as many people that are interested in the art side of it as the gaming side of it. And I understand that. I understand it more and more every day because I really like painting this stuff. I don't always get a chance to play with it though. And sometimes some projects I don't get to chance to finish painting in time to play with anything. Or my play group will switch up and they'll start playing something else that I didn't expect, and I'll have to play catch up with them, like Team Yankee, you know. Yeah, that's what inspired me to work on my Team Yankee on the cheap. Team Yankee on the cheap. Man, my nose is getting stuffed up. I wonder if I got allergies, maybe? I'll tell you what's going on. So, I think I've got like a deviated septum because it seems like my nose closes up on me from time to time. Very odd. All right, so we're gonna put the clamps to this guy and let his base dry up there. So 9:30 here. We got 3 viewers. Now, if you are a subscriber and you are in the monthly monster drawing, you don't have to be here when the monthly drawing occurs. Now, I said I was going to do it at 9 o'clock. I did it as close to 9 o'clock as possible. And congratulations to DD Minis. He won this one. So he'll be out for next month, or this month. September, not August. So the Blue Dragon was for August. So this is for September. September's monthly monster right here. WizKids Cavern Troll. And while I let this base dry, I went to Hobbytown the other day, as you do, and I picked up some more sanding sticks because the ones I had were getting well worn. So these sanding sticks work pretty well on this PVC. So, and these are just kind of random sanding sticks. I really didn't pay attention to the grit. But I think I'll use this one. It's got pretty good grit on one side and a little bit lighter grit on the other side. It's got usually has two different grits on it. I'll put it back in this bag so they don't get lost like the other ones did. And while we're letting this dry, letting the glue dry, I'm going to try to remove some of these pesky old mold lines. And pretend like I'm the dentist, the dental hygienist that did my cleaning the other week. That's one of the most uncomfortable things. Hey, Dollar, how's it going? How you hanging in there, man? Good to see you on tonight. I was thinking about you your last couple of days. I know you had. I know what happened, and sorry to hear that. That's always bad news, but you know, it's part of life. So, but if you ever want to talk about it, sometimes feelings happen, and if you ever want to talk about that, I know you got a pretty good extended family to lean on there. So, but yeah. So, Dollar, I am sorry you did not win the dragon this weekend. This week, but you're still in the running for the next one if you maintain your subscription there for this next month. So, Cavern Troll here. DD Minis won the dragon. Miar did not because Miar won last month's. He demanded a recount. Well, you'll have to talk to the Wheel of Names about that one. It was as fair and random as I could. So, I already did the drawing. I thought about waiting around, but I went ahead and did it because here's the thing. I have a list of everybody that's a subscriber, so I can go ahead and just plug it in, right? So, like I said, subscribers don't have to be here. Now, other drawings I will do right out of chat. You know, I'll use my Nightbot and we'll just go right out of chat just for silly little things here and there. Like for the Warcrow set, that's gonna be, you know, they're gonna have to be around, but I'm not gonna do that until we hit 400. So I think DD is probably lurking tonight, which is fine. I definitely appreciate the lurk. You're more than welcome to lurk my channel anytime. If you don't feel like getting involved, or if you're doing other things and just need to have something going on in the background, I am all about it. I'm all about that life. So this is the Cavern Troll from Whiz Kids in their Deep Cuts line from the Pathfinder battles. And I'm just trying to clean up some of the more egregious mold lines. Now I'm using a sanding stick because now with a polystyrene, like say a Space Marine, like a hard plastic figure, like for instance the frameworks figures, right? They're polystyrene. If you take your knife, or sometimes the back of your knife actually works better, and go perpendicular, run your knife perpendicular to the mold line, and then you scrape it, it will get rid of that mold line. Now that works pretty well on polystyrene, but it doesn't work real well on PVC. So the PVC figures, because what happens is once you start scraping at it, the material has an elasticity, so it wants to follow it along, and you'll wind up with these weird little fuzzy bits, right? Like here. So you could also use a diamond file, but I'm using these sanding sticks, and it works really well. Hey, Quandam, how's it going? Lurk, nice. Thanks for the lurk there, Quandam. Thanks for hanging out, man. Appreciate you being here, as always, my friend. X-Acto knife, best impromptu scraper tool. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think I've got a more impressive scraper tool around here somewhere, but you just can't beat the good old X-Acto knife. I mean, that's just all there is to it. It's the go-to classic. Everybody started using it, and that's just how it is, right? So I just did the monthly monster drawing, Quantum, and DD Minis won the Blue Dragon. But this month, this is for September, this is the Cavern Troll. So I'm kind of looking forward to it because if I follow the actual computer generated coloring program there, I should be making that guy look like that. Now, I may not use that particular brown. I may just go with a gray. But I think I would like to make the crystals stand out. Maybe make the crystals in green. Maybe make them glow. I don't know. That would be interesting. Do I want to make his teeth crystalline, though? That's the question. Do I want to make his teeth crystalline? I'm not sure. You don't need a flat scraper if you have a knife, or rounded scrapers or panel line scrapers. You'll need special tools. Yes. Yes. I've got some dental picks that I've used before as well. So, which dental picks, here's the crazy thing. A lot of times people are stuck on going to the hobby shop, right? Whether that's Hobby Town or their game store, and they just get whatever the game store offers or the hobby store offers, right? Or they might go to Michael's or Joann's Fabric. Hey, man up and go to Joann's Fabric. That sounds really weird, right? But anyway, oh my gosh, that's so toxic masculinity. Well, okay, it's a joke. It's a joke, folks. It's a joke. It's just a joke. Um, so, no, what I'm saying is, what was I saying? Um, yeah, don't just get stuck on what your hobby shop sells. Sometimes you can find cheaper equivalents or the same thing just repackaged a lot of times. If you go to a hardware store, like you can get, if you go to Harbor Freight, you can actually get dental picks. You can get a whole range of dental picks. And they work really good for sculpting tools. This tool right here, where is it? It's the green stuff tool. So this green stuff tool, right, that I got at, I think I got this at Games Workshop. This was their green stuff sculpting tool, right? This is what they sold. It came on a card in shrink wrap. And I don't know, it might have been $6 or $7 at the time, back in 2002 or whatever. But I tell you what, you can get this same tool in a kit from Harbor Freight for about $6. Like all the tools plus this, and you can modify them and do whatever you need to. So you can get dental picks and, I mean, just all sorts of neat stuff. But don't just get stuck into the idea that it has to come from the hobby shop or it has to have a name brand on it like Tamiya or Academy or whatever. A lot of times like Hobby Town or even Michael's or Hobby Lobby, if you go there, some people don't like Hobby Lobby. I get that. For you got your reasons. Those have their house brands and the off-brand stuff, right? But which you can, some of those are actually fairly cheap if you don't worry about name brands. So like my visor is just the cheap Hobby Lobby $19 visor. Nothing special, nothing fancy, just kind of there. Not stuck on the hobby shop, but got hooked on overseas hobby shippers for a while. Japanese hobby tools or some of that. Yes, yes. Hobby Link Japan. Um, I have browsed, I have browsed Hobby Link Japan for many hours. There, Quantum. I feel you, buddy. I know what you're talking about. Absolutely. And their shipping is reasonable. In fact, they have a warehouse here in the States, I think. So it's not like it's hard to get. They're a little expensive. They might be $1 or two more than like say Hobby like Harbor Freight for some of their things like that. But I mean, it's not bad. Everything's right in the same spot. So fill up your cart, so to speak. I do feel like I should buy from the local guy. Let's see. Dylan says, I feel like I should buy from the local guy over a corporation. I like to, just like streamers versus social channels of the WotC. Right, sure. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, buying from the local guy is always better than buying online. I mean, if the local guy has what you need, you know, um, and even if you buy like at Hobby Lobby or Hobby Town, Dylan, um, remember there's people in our community that work there. So Hobby Link Japan and Hobby Search have more of my money than I care to admit. I feel you there, Quantum. Absolutely. But yeah, I mean, if you have a local store that you can support, or people that work at a local store, even if it is a nationwide chain, um, because the amount of mom and pop stores is pretty much gone. Um, we don't have any real mom and pop stores in our area. I mean, there's Goblin Traders and Inner Geek and all that kind of thing, but they don't have the depth of tools and supplies that I'm talking about. I'm talking about actual tools and supplies, not just models and games. So, um, but that's the thing is even the people that work at like Michaels or Hobby Lobby or I don't know, is AC Moore still a thing? I thought they went out of business. Pat Catan, I know, went out of business because we had one here in P Town. But those places all have you know they have local people working at them. So really, keeping your fellow citizens employed is important as well. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, Dylan, absolutely. There's a kid working at Hobby Lobby, and they're learning about having a job and what it takes. And there maybe a grandma's just supplementing her social security income by working at something that she's familiar with. She loves. Maybe she's worked a job that she didn't like, but she retired. But social security just isn't quite enough. But she says, "Hey, you know what? There's Hobby Lobby. They have textiles. They have sewing notions. I know sewing notions. I know how to do this." So, or maybe she's working at Michael's, depending on what you have in your town. Like I said, I know some people don't like Hobby Lobby for their reasons. I understand. I get that. But what if it's the only place you got? you know, good place for your basics. Your basic tools, knives, sanding sticks, brushes. Lots of brushes. I get a lot of brushes at Hobby Lobby. Tend to not to shop Amazon if I can. The last few years, it's gotten as bad as Wish or Alibaba in terms of getting a reliable product. Yeah, exactly. I feel you. I feel you on that, Quantum. Absolutely. Yep. That is very true. It just depends too, though. I mean, there's some decent brushes. In fact, what's funny is when you find the brushes that somebody else is selling and they're in the same package, but they're from the same factory, and of course, they have a lot of the Chinese, off-brand stuff that is the same stuff. It's just comes in a different package. When I say Chinese, I don't mean it's not a knock against the Chinese people. It's just the where things come from and the extra shift mentality of we'll make this and we will do it off the books mentality that a lot of producers over there have. But I do like the golden maple. If you look at golden maple, so these these dry brushes right here are from an outfit called Golden Maple, and I swear they're just the same. They're exactly the same thing as say. Oh, I've been collecting dust in there. Look at that. That's probably that'll make you go chalky if you collect dust in your dry brushes. I'll have to wash those out. But there's 6 of those. And when you look at the handles, I guarantee you they're the same handles that about 3 other companies use. It's just a different color paint on the handles. So, golden maple, and they've got another more like between a size 4 and a size double aught 1 for the small stuff. So, a lot of the things that we see packaged from companies tend to be packaged. They can't. They're made in the same factory. Hobby Lobby is for better or for worse the only local place I can buy certain products like Mr. Surfacer. True. True. They do have that. And they've got cheap brushes that if you mess them up, it doesn't hurt your feelings, right? So, so don't just only look at what your local hobby store has to offer. Go ahead and go to the hardware store, go to Harbor Freight, check it out. Have kind of an open mind about looking at places that might have things that you can use. Um, that would make a really good video if I actually did like an Uncle Adam style video. I've been thinking about doing that. People already say I look like him. It hurts my feelings. A brush is a terrible thing to waste. Right? Exactly. Very true, Dylan. Very true. A brush is a terrible thing to waste. But they do wear out over time. Even if you take good care of them, they can wear out. So, last weekend I got to jam with some really fine musicians at the Fraley Traditional Music Festival, the J.P. Anadine Fraley Music Festival. down at Carter Caves. I haven't played with anybody for a long time. Saw a fella playing bass there, and I said, "Hey, you mind if I put my fingerprints on your bass for a little while?" He says he didn't mind at all. So I jammed out for about, I don't know, 5, maybe 7 songs with some other people. We had a lady playing flute, and we had a couple of gentlemen playing. One was playing a resonator guitar, and the other one was playing a dobro. And they're similar instruments, but they're different. They're very similar, but the neck is different. The way you play the dobro and the resonator guitar are completely different. The resonator guitar is more like a regular guitar, the way it's played, and the dobro is more of the slide, that slide guitar sort of thing. Yeah, on the YouTube channel. Okay. All right. Which YouTube channel is that, Dylan? Even completely worn out brushes are useful. I pulled all the hairs out of one brush, flattened the end of the ferrule, and filed it into a sculpted tool. There you go. Quantum's got the solution. Absolutely. That is, there's always a way to use something. We don't always have to throw something out just because it's old and worn down a little bit. There's always something you can use something for. On my YouTube channel. Oh. Well, a how-to on gear and where to shop, when it is right to buy the expensive brand name and when it's better to buy expensive. Oh, yeah, that would be a good a good produced sort of 10-minute video. Good Uncle Adam style video, wouldn't it? That's a good idea, sorry, Dylan. That's a good idea. I've got a whole book full of ideas, actually. That might be not too far off of one of them, but nice job crystallizing that. I think I will have to see about writing that down. So, T.Y. Ed. It's scary out here, man. Right? Monster Den. It's often the cheapest solution too. Is Monster Den? Hey, Monster Den's here. Hey, Ed, how you doing? Good to see you, Monster Den. Thanks for stopping in. Appreciate you. Just a Tuesday night after party after watching Build Paint Play over on YouTube. So Build Paint Play is Jake Krajewski and Dave Taylor, and they talk to interesting people doing interesting things in the game and hobby industry. I think you'd really like it if you make time for it. Or if you don't, you can always catch it on the VOD. So. But yes, Quantum always has a solution. That's right. He's a very resourceful fellow, I've noticed, watching a couple of his streams now and then. He kind of uses what he has at hand, and I like that. I've noticed that. All right. So do we have most of the mold lines off? That's the tough thing about these Nolzur's figures. These is getting all the mold lines off. There are a few on some of the ones that I've done for people here as the monthly monster. See, I can't say monster of the month because that's That belongs to Monster Den Minis. So Monster Den Minis does a Monster of the Month. I do a monthly monster. See, it's different. It's the same thing, but it's different. Been lurking a while. Have a big piece of terrain in my hand. Oh boy! A big piece of terrain. Nice. Well, you're more than welcome to lurk all you want. Terrain. Moving from miniatures up to terrain. All right. Well, terrain can only mean one thing. That means you're going to be gaming with it. Terrain means gaming. Miniatures aren't always gaming, but terrain is definitely gaming. Totally different, right? This guy's getting sort of like some Muppet lips going on here. They're kind of flattening out as I scrape off the mold lines there. Looks like Sweetums. If you remember who Sweetums was, he's the big hairy monster there in the Muppet Show. I always thought he was kind of a takeoff of Chewbacca, quite honestly. Like my ex. I will terrain for Judge Dredd. I hate painting terrain. Understand Monster Den. Understand. There's a lot of other options too. You know, there's the cardboard clip together stuff from Battle Systems and the like that. Oh, okay, I'd say that that's probably dry. So there's a lot of other solutions for terrain, but I understand hating painting terrain. That makes sense. I rather like it all, quite personally. I've done a lot of terrain over the years for various people, various things, various reasons. Dylan says, like my ex. This is a little bit noticeable right through here. Got it off of his ears pretty much, except for here. We'll just use this we'll just use the good old X-Acto, and we'll just actually slice this mold line away, because PVC does not scrape well unless it's very hard. So we'll cut that away. Don't want to go too far in, but there we go. When do I think I will do a local paint and take? Well, here's the thing. So, here's SubasaCon. Well, somebody that is tentatively, like, tangentially, I should say, tangentially. Somebody that is tangentially connected to SubasaCon told me that their friends at SubasaCon are looking for somebody to run a paint and take. And it is the same weekend as Advance the Colors. I also have another appointment on Sunday of that weekend, so I don't know if Subasacon is going to be a good fit for me, and that's in October. There is a little convention going on over in Taze Valley in November that they want me to do a paint and take there. And that's actually a very free weekend. That is the weekend before AcadeCon. AcadeCon is up in Dayton. So I don't think I'll do a paint and take at AcadeCon. I think I would like to go and play games there. So I'm very good at cutting the mold lines from early Reaper Bones minis like that. Yes, absolutely, Quantum. Softer PVC lets you slice mold lines like peeling a potato. Right. Very good at cutting. Yes. Well, quite honestly, Quantum, actually, a lot of the early Bones PVC stuff, I never really bothered getting rid of the mold lines because it was just something to get out there and throw on the table for people to play with. I wasn't really trying to do anything heroic there. The fact that you couldn't prime them with spray primer was kind of a bummer. So after that, I figured why bother, right? So, which I guess probably is a little bit defeatist. But thing is, right here, like this little line right here, I want to break this crystal out from the body. This line right here wants to make that crystal kind of blend into that body, so it's just kind of a molding problem right there. But yeah, slicing them away is definitely a way to do it, and I know a lot of people were slicing things away with the Bones PVC, the Bones stuff. And if you ever do the soft 1/72nd scale soldiers, like military models, like the figures, you have to do the same thing and slice the mold lines away, which is really irritating on a figure that is less than an inch tall, which it's supposed to be an inch tall, but it really isn't once you get down to it. So, because I play Germans in 1/72nd, because we play bolt action in 1/72nd. So I've got Germans. Now in 1/56 scale, in regular size bolt action, I've got British. So, will I keep you posted if I do one? Yes, absolutely, Dollar. I absolutely will. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I've got that one over in Taze Valley, Hurricane. I've got one going in November. So, um, whether or not I'll do anything at Subasacon, I don't know. Like I said, it's a very busy weekend for me. And I would only be able to do it on a Saturday, if anything, for that particular event. So I don't know if they're interested in just having somebody run that for just a Saturday. But like I said, I would like to go to Advance the Colors up in Springfield that weekend. So, wouldn't be able to go to Subasacon. Understandable. We would definitely come out, sure. Sure. Well, that's the thing. SubasaCon is in October, and ValleyCon is in November. So maybe by then things could be a little bit more calm for you. Because I know a lot of times when the things like what happened this week for you all, when that happens, there's a lot of work to do afterwards, and maybe 6 or 8 weeks later you'll have more time to see to your own selves, and you're gonna need time. You're gonna need time to decompress. I will say that. Um, I will say that. I know that. I know that, and I mean that just goes without saying. So, gonna need time to step back and decompress and do something fun. You know. So. All right, I think I've got this pretty well cleaned up pretty well. Oh, here's a little spot right here. All right, very cool. All right, let's put him on the big old monster base here. Monster base. Monster base. And we'll just go ahead and get some dark gray. And let's use basalt gray. That's a little too bluish gray. Let's find something that's got a little bit more of a brownish gray to it. I believe there was Necromancer Cloak. Let's see if I can find Necromancer Cloak. Oh, Necromancer Cloak here. Hardened Carapace. That's kind of a brownish gray. And black, matte black. Oh, let's see. What else have we got here? Matte black, black, black gray, dark stone, dark stone. Dark stone is a very brownish gray. What a cool name for a paint. Necromancer Cloak. Yes, that is Army Painter. And Army Painter has a nice line, I gotta say. While I've been collecting Pro Acryl, it's funny, I started pivoting towards Pro Acryl, and Army Painter comes out with their Fanatic paints, which is really one of the most bomb diggity products out there right now. But again, remember, the products that you choose, the products that you use, should be ones that work for you. If you find a line of paint that everybody else is just crazy about and it's not working for you, that's okay. You can find something that works for you. And there's nothing wrong with having 6 or 7 different kinds of brands of paint on your desk or in your collection. So, nothing wrong with that at all. So, all right, I think I'm going to give this. We are in the golden age of miniature paint. Absolutely. Absolutely, Quantum. Very true. So I think I'm going to start out with Hardened Carapace. It's a little bit darker gray, but it's a very warm gray. And I think I'm going to just do a complete. Let me get the dust off of this. That's okay if it's a little dusty. He is a troll after all. If I'm too new to know if something is working. Well, here's the thing. A lot of that is starting out with basics and just starting out a little bit at a time. Get a couple of different things. You know, if you like a color, if you like a color, go with it. And if it's not working for you, if you can't get it to work right, if it doesn't work for you, um, you'll know that it doesn't work for you. But most paints, honestly, will work about the same. The important thing is to understand what you need to do to make them work for you, right? And what I mean by that is sometimes online you see people say, well, you need to thin your paints down to the consistency of skim milk. Well, I've never painted with skim milk, so I don't know. Okay? And you've heard me mention it. I don't know if you've heard me mention it before, but there is a gentleman named Tommy Soul who is an excellent painter. He lives over in England, and he's got a book, and I highly recommend Tommy Soul's book from Dave Taylor Miniatures. Um, I'll show it to you here in just a second. But it's not really an instructional book, but it's an instructional book. And it's a kind of instructional book that makes you ask yourself, why am I doing it like this? Why do I do this? Why do I do that? It's not necessarily, well, you should thin your paints down like this, you should do this, but it asks you, why do you do this like this? What is your reasoning behind this? Floquil driftwood stain. Oh yeah, the rest of the line can stay buried, but there is no substitute for driftwood stain. Yeah, very true. Very true. The Floquil paints, Floquil and Polyess, Quantum, Quantum Man, you are talking my language, buddy. The Floquil stuff and the Pactra and Polyess. Yeah, man. I wish all that stuff was still around. I have not seen that for ages. Absolutely. Um, but you'll know when something's working for you, Dollar. You'll know the results you're looking for. And the thing is, it's just paint, right? What's a miniature cost? You can get two WizKids figures for $5 or $6. So plenty of things you can do to practice with. Get a couple of figures you don't mind if you don't do great with. It's okay to not do great. Not, you know, I am not a competition painter by any means. I can get it on the table, basically. So see how my paint is really a little thinner than I would like? That's okay. I can let it dry and do another coat or two and bring that color up to a little bit more opacity. So that's not what I was looking for, but name 3 paint lines that I still have viable bottles of, right? Well, hey, you know us old guys there, Quantum. I mean, that's just how it is. And then there was the Testers line of acrylics that they tried to kind of get into the same neighborhood as Workshop with. I've got a bunch of those. They're actually not bad. They're kind of separated, but I mean, they could be revitalized. I've got a whole drawer full of those. They were an acrylic product, and I don't remember their name. I'd have to step away to find out. Testers Model Masters, yes, that's what they would be. And they were acrylic. They were water-based acrylic, which for me, Testers water-based acrylic from Testers was that was one of those ones where the light shined down from heavens and you heard angels sing. Oh, it was like, what? What is this? And came in pretty good sized bottles too, you know. Testers Model Masters. Yes, sir, that's what they were. That's what they were. So I'm just thinning this down with water and letting it do what it's doing. It's not quite. Basically, I'm breaking the paint because I'm putting too much water in this, and the pigment is kind of flowing out, and it's kind of breaking out from the water itself, so it's not staying together very well. But that's okay. It's just a first coat. Then there's the Badger AccuFix. How much difference is this kind of paint and the model car paint? Well, it just depends. Now, a lot of people have switched over to the to acrylic paint for model car paint, but model car paint is usually the lacquer paint. So the testers with the solvent smell to it, if you're talking about that as the old model car paint or model airplane paint, that stuff is, well, I'll tell you what. Give me a second here, and I will show you some models that I painted, some figures that I painted with it way back in the day. But I knew something that most people didn't know. I knew how to thin my paints, so I got thinner for it. Because it doesn't thin with water. It thins with solvent. And generally for the models that we do for gaming, we usually use acrylic because the acrylic paints generally have a much flatter finish and they don't stink up the place, and you don't have to use toxic thinner, you know, mineral spirits or whatever it is, and you know your mom's not going to yell at you. My mom always yelled at me when I was trying to paint with Testors paints. So the model car paint is solvent based, and the new acrylics are water based. Yes, exactly. That's what I was getting at. What Quantum said there. So let me clean my brush out real quick, and I'll let that dude dry up, and I'll show you some of the work that I did early in my painting career. Career, like I make money off of it. I will be just back in just one moment. I'll go to the vault here. Pumpkin, get out. All right. I'm going to keep my eye on you, mister. You're going to get into mischief. Pumpkin is now in the hobby odyssey, not hobby career. Absolutely. That's very true. So, this I actually painted. This is early Citadel. I say early, sort of mid-range. This was around about 1990, I guess. And this I painted in enamels. So that's all Testors enamel that I painted that in. So not terrible. I did thin down the paints because I knew enough that you had to thin it down, and I found the right thinner to do it with, which was also by testers, but it stank all to high heaven for sure. So I'm going to bring that up here just a little bit. So I should probably put this on the Instagram. So that was an orc. This is a grenadier from, let's see. This is a Julie Guthrie figure. And this was also in, I also used enamel paints, solvent-based enamel paints to do this one. Again, I didn't clog up a lot of the detail because I had the good sense to add thinner to it. But the enamel paint is a very long wearing, very tough finish. So, and then this is his buddy holding the lantern here. He's got a long sword and a lantern. Now, I think the flat black might have been a water-based hobby paint that I got my folks to take me to XL Models in Lexington one time. And this khaki paint right here that his boots are made out of, that's actually a water-based acrylic. But everything else is everything else on that figure. Hey, Gel Tip, good to see you. Thanks for the raid, man. Appreciate you being here. Awesome. Oh, hey, thanks. Drinks on Me by Dollar Dylan. So we got an ad about to start here in 4 minutes. So I was just showing off some of my old figures that I painted with enamel paints, the old Testors enamel paints. So I did know enough when I was that age to actually thin them down with the thinner that you could buy with them. So but here's a couple of Grenadier figures by Julie Guthrie. Not bad, really. Maybe I could touch them up, but I don't think I will. I think I'll leave them as they are. But in the 80s, a lot of people complained about how thick paints went on when they didn't really have to put their paints on quite so thick. So if you came in with Gel Tip, if you're not following, please follow, because I have got a special program for followers. Once we hit 400 followers, I'm going to be giving away a copy of Warcrow. So I'm going to give away a copy of Warcrow once we hit 400 followers. So if you would like to have a chance at winning a copy of Warcrow, by all means, drop a follow. It's free. Or the other thing is, what I'm doing tonight is I'm working on my monthly monster. So this month's monster is the Cavern Troll from WizKids. And this is it. Tonight I also did... Well, it went to the floor. Oh, that's okay. It's a troll. He can handle it. That's the other nice thing about the PVC figures, is they're pretty tough. So there's the troll. And so tonight I was giving away to my subscribers. One subscriber got this blue dragon. So, nice wet blended wings there. Picked out the scales. Nice texture on the belly. So, that went out to one of my. This is going out to one of my subscribers that I drew for tonight. Got host on the dragon. Yes, unfortunately, Dylan did not get selected for the dragon. He was in the Wheel of Fortune, though. He was definitely in the Wheel of Fortune. It's just the Wheel of Fortune did not land on him. So, better luck next time. So, you have to be in the continental United States or Canada. Offer not valid in Quebec or void where prohibited. So, Hardened Carapace, come on, get out of there. Wheel of BS. Now, BS means billing and scheduling, folks. That's it. So, all right, we'll get some more Hardened Carapace out here, and we're just going to do a nice undercoat of Hardened Carapace because it's a very dark, it's very brown. This Hardened Carapace is a very brown gray. It skews very much towards the gray. So the brown, it's a brownish gray. Hey, look out, cat. Look, I need a hairbrush, but I don't need your tail as a hairbrush. You, sir, are incorrigible. You snuck in here. You were not supposed to sneak in here. Cat hair. We've tried to have the cat sit on my lap while I'm painting, but he is not quite that well behaved. All right, Quantum. So I have the inspector here. So you think you're helping? Is that it? You think you're helping there, Pumpkin? So we're just going to get a nice overall coat of this Hardened Carapace, brownish gray on here. And even if it doesn't give good coverage, it's okay. I've got more browns, brownish grays that I'm going to be using here. So, and it's okay if we get paint where we are not going to want paint later. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Usually I keep Pumpkin from getting in here because he likes to knock things off. All right. Quit knocking things off. You act all sweet and then you just reach over and knock something off. I'm gonna just knock this bottle of paint right off. Yes, Cat, that's right. Cat is here. And he wants to knock things off. So I'm going to put him out of the pocket dimension. You are going to go to the outer space outside, and you are going to wait. You snuck in. You snuck in. Hey, quit biting me. Ow. Ow. Oh boy. Yeah, he wants to paint. He likes to knock things off of my desk. So he was just sitting here, cuddling up in my lap, and then he just reaches over and knocks off a bottle of paint. I mean, just like, this is a thing I'm just gonna do. I'm just gonna knock off this bottle of paint. Just a thing I'm gonna do. Oh, I'll tell you what. Uh, it's funny. Sapient but not sentient, right? That's what they say is animals are sapient, but they're not sentient. I don't know what that means, but I'll tell you what. He likes to knock things off. He was just sitting there all cuddly, and then he just reaches up right over and grabs that bottle of paint and chucks it right off the desk. That was, boy, he was slick. I tell you what, he just sneaky old boy. Tell you what. All right, heading out. Hey, thanks for the bits, Monster Den. Appreciate that. Definitely appreciate the bits. Right on, folks. Hey, by the way, if you're not following Monster Den, you should do so. So give Monster Den a follow if you haven't done so already. If you're watching and you haven't given Monster Den a follow, please do so. He is a real pillar in our Twitch miniatures community here. And he deserves all the honorifics that we can give him. Also, Geltip. Definitely give Geltip a follow. So, Geltip's an awesome guy. He's got a nice channel. He does his, he's a very instructable sort of a person. He does a lot of very instructable sort of streams, and you can learn a lot from Geltip. So, animals are not sentient. I know a few that have smelled pretty bad. And Geltip. Excellent, 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 Dollar. I think you'll enjoy catching their content from time to time. They bring a lot to the game. They bring a lot to the community too. I got to sit and paint the charity piece for mental health, the MHCP painting there at Adepticon this past year. We got to work on the X-Men diorama. Together. Me and Geltip and Monster Den Minis. It was a collaboration that I think I always wanted, but it just kind of happened that we just kind of were all there at the same time. Oh, allow, yes, we will allow. Yeah, that Quantum Reveries guy. You should definitely not follow Quantum Reveries. Yes. No, follow Quantum Reveries. Definitely follow Quantum. He's got some good ideas too. Excellent painter. I think Quantum shifted out for because Quantum was sitting there. Let's see. Geltip was there, and then I think Quantum shifted out and took his spot, and Ed sat down. That's Monster Den. Monster Den sat down, and I sat down, and we just had a good old time painting up the X-Men for a good cause. Some mental health awareness type stuff. So, think we did a nice job. Presenting a riddle. I am orange. I have a head and tail but no legs. What am I? Heretic Scott. Hey, how's it going, Heretic Scott? Long time no see. How you doing? Let's see. I enter the domain, presenting a riddle. I am orange, have a head and a tail, but no legs. What am I? Orange, have a head and a tail. That is, wow. You got me on that one. Well, my cat is orange, and he has a head and a tail, but he's got legs. Wow. That's a good one. That's a stumper. Wow. Then Blades won the X-Men diorama like she always does. Yes, a new copper penny. Oh, there you go. That's a reasonable answer if you ask me. Well done. Yes, Heretic Scott coming in with the riddles. Nice. Very cool. Appreciate that. That's some nice engagement. Appreciate the riddle. I like that. That was good. I have to use that somewhere. Maybe if I'm caught in the dark with a ghoulish creature that wants to eat me, and I've just found a magical ring, I will use that. I mean, it could happen. I mean, I'm a bachelor of 50 years old. I'm just waiting for a wizard and a dozen plus one dwarfs to come and eat all my food, bend my forks and break my plates. That's what JP Gotrokkits hates. What has its got and its precious is precious. Right? Now, you can't tell me that a 90-minute not Ralph Bakshi, but Rankin and Bass movie. I mean, how can a cartoon do The Hobbit better than the multi-million-dollar offering from Peter Jackson? There were things I liked about it, but there were things that were just too much. Sandworms, it's like, pardon me, sir, but you got your Dune in my Lord of the Rings. Let's see. Yes, it's been a while. It's been a very busy, no doubt. My partner got her dream job as a beautician and nail technician. Oh, congratulations! Well, pass on our congratulations to her. That's wonderful. That is really cool. Now you know where to get if you need to make rivets on your orc vehicles. You know who you can steal little nail beads from. Had to push her to go for it. I'm starting a new venture in hobbying, starting to put some videos together. Excellent, excellent, excellent. That's wonderful. All good news all around from you there, Heretic Scott. Excellent. I'm glad you shared that with me. Appreciate it. Shared with us, really, here, all on the channel. So, yeah, I'll be looking forward. Are you putting those out on YouTube, I take it, Heretic? I will be looking forward to seeing them. Let's see. Then you'll go there and back again. A Rocket's Holiday. They didn't try to stretch it to 3 movies, Precious, right? Right? Well, I think they could have done... Here's the thing. So, the way I see it is the movie studio wanted Jackson to do 3 movies. Okay? Great. If he had done 3 90-minute movies, I think it could have been done and been great. I think 3 90-minute movies would have been great. But trying to stretch limited amount of material into uh, 3 2.5 hour movies, that was a little bit much. I just think it was just too much. But I think 3 90-minute movies, and 90 minutes is what it takes to be considered feature length. Um, I think 3 90-minute movies would have been exactly what we needed for those. It would have caught all the beats. We would have seen everything that needed to be seen. And yeah. And I would have made it, and it would have made just as much money, probably more, because you would have had more show times, right? So 3 90-minute movies, 90-minute movies can be shown, what's it, 2.5 more times than 2.5 hour movies. So you would have had an average of 2.5 more, well, 2 more show times per day. So 2 more show times per day, why not, right? That puts more butts in the seat, and more people gonna go back. You know, I never went back and watched those movies a second time like I did Lord of the Rings. The Hobbit movies, I just did not go back and watch. After I saw them, I saw them. Although There and Back Again, or Unexpected Journey was probably the best one, which makes sense. It had the most work done on it by Guillermo del Toro, so it was already well underway when Jackson had to take it over. So, haven't decided yet. I want to use Patreon as my hub, as it's very multimedia friendly. Okay, very cool, and easy to organize content. That's an interesting idea. I've thought about Patreon. I don't know that I'm good enough to do Patreon, though, quite honestly. So I'm here stuck with the rest of us plebes, right? Probably have some supercut videos on YouTube that if people like can see the full thing in Patreon. Yeah, that's what a lot of people will do with their Patreon. They'll do like a short form video, and then they'll put the long form video on the Patreon. So I don't know how well that works or not, if it really garners the views that it needs to or not. But the other thing about Patreon is that's a good place if people actually want to take lessons from you. You could actually have lessons and have, set up a Zoom call or FaceTime or whatever. Let's see. Membership and full access will be free. Oh, wow. Well, that's a big difference from Patreon to make your membership and full access free. That's very cool. Well, just remember, Heretic Scott, just remember what you told me one time, that if you're good at something, you should get paid for it. So make sure you're getting taken care of for your time that you invest, So you need to get in on that action, JP. Private lessons over the internet, it'd be fire. I'm not that good. I mean, this is about as private lessons as I get there, Dylan. About as far as I can get. This is about as good as I'm getting. I consider myself a tabletop plus painter. I'm definitely not, I ain't no Sam Lenz, that's for sure. Making money through other means, so don't worry. Yeah, sure. Understandable. I mean, I have a job too, but if I'd like to have this thing do something where I can, I don't know. I'd like to have this do something. Yeah, I have a day job too. I feel you, Heretic Scott. I feel you. But your time is worth something too. So whatever your time is worth to you is, I think it's important to be made whole, you know. I started this mostly for two reasons. One is to kind of give me a motivation to have a actual dedicated time to hobby, and two, just to kind of help people with their hobby, you know, whether it's just being encouraging to people that are at my skill level or better, or to help people that are just starting out. So that's a pretty good undercoat right there. Don't turn your hobby into your job. Sure, absolutely. On the other hand, I mean, my brother used to say that. Don't turn your avocation into a vocation. But I will, I will, I will counter that with Stan Lee saying that if you have a job that you love, you'll never work a day in your life. Which I think that's true too. Community build and the interactions I have with other creators is far more valuable to me than coffee money. I also don't drink coffee. Well, that's there you go. You got to have your priorities there. I mean, if you don't drink coffee, you got to do something right. Don't need coffee money if you don't drink coffee. Stream only because if I'm going to hobby, I can socialize too. Yes, that's true too. That is a big reason why Twitch is important. And that's something like I'm streaming over at YouTube right now as well, which there's nobody watching over there, but YouTube kind of sucks because I'm sure that the algorithm like that one, because it doesn't have any community building aspects, right? So there's no rating that you can do on a live stream on YouTube, but you can do it on Twitch. You can really build up a nice community on Twitch, and I think that's what we have. You know, you got Quandom here, you got Gel Tip here, we had Monster Den in a little earlier. We've got people like Neil Duffy and Jamie Daggers, and we got Kenny Boucher, Respect the Paint Kenny Boucher. We've got all of these great people here in our community here on Twitch. Let's see. Adam Loper streams on Twitch. He doesn't really do much in the way of raids per se. Monument Hobbies. Hey, Monument Hobbies is here on Twitch as a company. Lethal Shadows as a company is here on Twitch. We have got an amazing community here on Twitch. We really do. YouTube doesn't even come close. Now, YouTube's great for produced videos, but as far as live streams, unless you really build up to your live streams somehow, YouTube, if YouTube instituted a raid function, they could probably eat Twitch's lunch tomorrow. But they don't. Let's see. Was going to either stream or do videos. Chose videos because I feel there's far more incentive to be productive when I'm hobbying. This is true. The couple of videos that I have in the can that I need to finish editing, the incentive for productivity, absolutely, Heretic, got you on that one. The camera is watching. With streams, I personally would find it difficult to be productive and juggle an audience with how in the zone I can get. Yeah, I feel you. I got you. I understand exactly what you're saying. Dollar Dillon is a retired 11B. Excellent. Oh no. Retired 11B is he's another streamer. Yes. I was going to say I didn't know Dollar Dillon was 11B. Yes, is another streamer. Yes, Dylan, I figured that out. I had to think for a second. Reaper Miniatures is on Twitch too? Yes, very much so. So the thing is Twitch has got a great miniatures painting Oh, you were an 11 Bravo. Okay. Ground pounder. Oh, the poor bloody infantry. So, all right. Very cool. So, that's probably one of the things that you noticed when he was when he had his channel. Oh, 11 Bravo. Retired 11 Bravo or 11 Bravo. Little brotherhood there. There you go. So, but that's the thing is we do have a really great community here, and I have got it on good authority that there is some interest with Twitch, um, actually finally giving us a miniatures painting category instead of being so, because we're broken up. The miniatures painters are really broken up between just chatting, art, Warhammer, makers and crafters. And if we had a dedicated miniatures painting category, I think it would even do more. It would really help solidify the community. It would help also um, draw. It would help everybody get more viewers and more followers. So, more viewers, more followers, more subscribers, more ad revenue. I mean, I know a lot of people, I know a lot of my friends here. I know you aren't into the money side of things, and I didn't start it for the money either, but the worker is worthy of his rewards. So, if you have ads, if you have people that are subscribed, and if you're producing things, um, what's wrong with it, right? So, if we had if we actually get that dedicated miniatures painting category, it's going to help everybody. And it is kind of it's sort of on a good I won't say who said it to me, but it is on good authority that it is something that is coming. So, perhaps I'll get some momentum. I'll turn into one of those enigmatic painters that appear on Twitch once every 6 months, have a big old stream, and then vanish for months into the abyss. Hey, that sounds great. Whatever works for you, heretic. Absolutely. Join the army, meet interesting people, and kill him, right? Exactly. Travel the world, see amazing sights, and blow them up. I get in the zone too easily, Quantum says, when someone redeems the 45-minute drawing challenge. I've had people come into the stream, ask a question, and I'll say, I'll just wait until he's done. Yeah, getting into the zone is pretty neat. I usually save that for like a Saturday or a Sunday afternoon paint just by myself because I like to interact with people. So I try to keep an eye on the on the chat and an eye on what I'm doing. But absolutely, getting in the zone, and that's one of the things about hobbies is it gets you in a different mindset. It gets you away from all the junk that you had to deal with today at work. It gets you away from all the junk you have to deal with tomorrow. It is something that you can just focus in on and the world goes away, right? Bruce Lee said, be like water, be adaptable. Um, when you do meditation and martial arts, it's not meditation to empty your mind, like to be a empty vessel that anything can be filled up with, but it's to focus on what you're doing right now in the moment. And it's sort of the same thing we do when we do our art. We focus right now in the moment with what we're doing, and that is in the zone. Oh, ad break. Sorry. So, oh, it's back now as I just said that, right? Understandable. That's kind of how it works sometimes. I usually only have try to have like 90 seconds every 30 minutes, which gives me 3 minutes of ad time per hour, which is the minimum that you need. So, all right. Well, I think that's going to be it for tonight. I do have an early morning. I got a good base coat of hardened carapace by the Army Painter right here on this cavern troll here. And I'm going to try to do some maybe turquoise or green, maybe even some OSL sort of things with the crystals growing out of them. But that's the first base coat, and we'll do some more later on. We'll do some more on Thursday night, folks. So all is well. All is well with me. Thank you very much, Heretic Scott. Things have been going pretty good. I've got a broken wisdom tooth, so I've got some dental appointments coming up for that. Glowing green, good news. I restored a bottle of polyester aluminum paint I found. Absolutely. Woohoo! Let's give it up for Quantum Reveries. He just fixed himself a nice color. Polyester aluminum paint. Polyester is one of those early acrylic, water-soluble acrylics that I found. So, absolutely. Got it fixed. Oh dear, get her fixed, Heretic Scott says. Yes, absolutely. All right, well, folks, that is it for this evening. Let us go and see what we're going to raid. And remember, no matter how bad today might have been, the sun is coming up tomorrow, and the world is a better place with you in it. So let's go raid somebody, and then I will bid you all adieu. Okay, here we go. Hey, haven't stopped in and said hello to Ryan for a little while. So let's go and raid Ryan. That's a useless wizard, by the way. We're going to do this. Here we go. Start raid. We'll raid in and finish the stream. Oh, I wanted to say one thing, too. If you remember White Dwarf, the old one of the editors, Paul Sawyer, is having some health problems. And I want to just drop this into the chat real quick. Take a look. If you recognize this name, you will know who it is. And definitely might want to support this. All right, rating now. Good night, all. Did that happen? I thought it did. Okay. Well, I thought that raid happened. Oh, sorry. Anyway, yeah. So if you want to check out that GoFundMe, that's for Paul Sawyer. You might remember him as Fat Bloke. He was the editor of White Dwarf for several years. He and Adrian Wood had one of my favorite battle reports in there. Um, he's got. I'll let you look at the link. You'll see what the problem is. Um, but we all get older. We all have health problems, and it's unfortunate. But if you can help make his life a little more comfortable for the next few months, please do so. All right. Okay, well, that is the end of stream. Good night, everybody.